Hi Guy, my name is David. Today we will talk about Bold and the Beautiful. Spoilers update on Friday, August 14th, teases that Steffy Forrester will continue to suffer excruciatingly. Steffy initially resisted taking painkillers but came to rely on them after her accident. Since Steffy still has a long way to go back to 100%, the idea of recovering without these painkillers must be daunting. After Steffy takes her last dose, she will find herself staring at the bottom of an empty pill bottle. Dr. John Finnegan doesn't think Steffy should get a refill and told her to use ibuprofen when these painkillers run out. Even if Steffy will want to obey her doctor's orders, it will be tough when she is in such agony. The Bold and the Beautiful spoilers say that Steffy will pretend to be fine, but may not be able to get away with that act for long. Finn will be paying another visit in the next week, so he might see how much Steffy is in pain. It will be interesting to see if Finn changes his mind about a reload or if Steffy has to find a workaround. Vinnie Walker has administered drugs to Thomas Forrester in the past, so Steffy could be his next client. Since Vinnie has a huge crush on Steffy, he would certainly be willing to step in and help her cope with her pain. Unfortunately, BB fans are expecting a serious addiction story from Steffy soon, so this should turn into a real battle. Meanwhile, Brooke Logan will release all her frustration. Donna Logan recently got the scoop from Eric Forrester, but will also want updates from Brooke. In Friday's episode, Brooke will talk to Donna about the divorce bomb and the new marriage drama. Ridge Forrester married Shauna Forrester, so Brooke is feeling bitter and heartbroken right now. The Bold and the Beautiful spoilers say Brooke will open up to Donna about the horror of it all. Although Ridge was drunk, Brooke can't believe she would betray their love in this way. Brooke and Shauna will discuss the divorce papers they worked out together at that Las Vegas wedding. In this dark and fragile state of mind, Brooke will feel like Shauna has emerged victorious. Brooke will definitely think she's a loser in love, but she's destined to get her rhythm back in the end. You can never really keep Brooke down, so she may decide to dig deeper in the coming weeks. If Brooke really takes the time to think about this shocking marriage, she might determine that Shauna hasn't done any good. Brooke might even point the finger at Quinn Forrester sooner or later. BB viewers know that Brooke doesn't usually give up without a fight, so all this talk of admitting defeat might not last long. Shauna had felt bad that Ridge hadn't remembered. He wished he could forget it, but then he had taken the wedding photos from the chapel. It flowed from his memories of the night. Quinn said it was a good thing Shauna knew the guy who ran the chapel. Shauna replied that she knew him, but hadn't wanted to do it yet. CBS The Bold and the Beautiful spoilers and updates reveal that newcomer Delon de Metz Zende Forrester is someone you absolutely want to keep on your radar. Even though this is the handsome young actor's first gig on daytime television, we have a feeling he'll be around for some time to come. Here are 5 things you need to know about Delon below. Number 1. Delon de Metz has looks and smarts. Delon de Metz is not only a very handsome actor, but he is also one who is also incredibly well educated. He was born in Manhattan, New York, and studied at the Horace Mann School before attending Harvard University. Delon graduated with honors in economics. While one might think he would pursue a career on Wall Street, Delon decided to try acting after being encouraged to do so by his mother. Number 2. His family roots. Delon is of Dutch and Caribbean descent. He also says that his mom is a huge fan of The Bold and the Beautiful, so much that she did a lot of research for her character, Zende, for him. We have a feeling that Delon's mother will be at the center and center every time her son appears in a brand new episode of The Bold and the Beautiful. He definitely has his full support. Now, whether Delon is dating or not, no one knows yet. The actor often shared a photo of himself on his social media accounts. Number 3. Delon de Metz's early works. Prior to joining The Bold and the Beautiful, Delon worked on numerous projects, primetime shows and a number of independent television series and films. Indeed, his performances have earned him numerous awards and nominations. And just to think, he's just getting started too. Hopefully, we might see him nominated for a Daytime Television Emmy this time next year. Number 4. Her BB audition was on Zoom. Due to the ongoing global pandemic that has been the coronavirus, Delon didn't have the opportunity to do a traditional audition with BB's casting director. Instead, it was done virtually on Zoom. Recalling the experience, Delon told Soap Opera Digest, "This is the first time I've used Zoom with casting, or with an actress for a chemistry reading, so that part of the process was definitely interesting and a great time. Unique experience for me." Number 5. He's a good friend of Tanner Novlan. Delon isn't BB's only new face this season. There's also actor Tanner Novlan, who plays Finn on the show, with whom Delon is a good friend. In fact, Delon is thrilling to be working with his old friend on the set of The Bold and the Beautiful again. Delon told Soap Opera Digest, "I've known him for years. We've met in Los Angeles for a long time now and I've actually auditioned him for a couple of roles here and there, so I texted him about Instagram like, dude, how funny is he? I'm very excited for him." Shauna said that she'd hoped Ridge would rally when they'd gotten back to her place, but his pilot had burst in and dragged him out of there. Even though they didn't get to. It was still a night she'd never forget. It was too bad he didn't remember it. Quinn stated that Ridge and Shauna had a lifetime to make memories because they were married. Quinn said that he'd married Shauna because he loved her, and all she and Shauna had done was make it legal. It would always be their secret. In Brooke's bedroom, Ridge told Brooke not to panic because they'd handle it. In disbelief, Brooke responded that Ridge had been angry with her, but he wouldn't just go and marry Shauna because of it. He said he was sorry, but he'd done it. Brooke contended that Ridge had never said a word about it. He replied that he hadn't remembered. She didn't know how he couldn't remember that. For him, the whole night had been a blur, and Shauna had just told him about it that day. Brooke didn't know how Ridge could have done it. She exclaimed that she'd warned him about Shauna. Brooke asserted that he couldn't be married to Shauna because he was still married to Brooke. "You're my husband," Brooke stated. Ridge replied that in his heart, it would always be that because it was their time. "And we'll get back to it, but we have to deal with this situation first," he reasoned. Ridge told her that as much as he wanted to be her husband, he was, in fact, not her husband. Ridge told Brooke that they'd signed divorce papers. Brooke told him that he hadn't filed them. Ridge replied that he didn't remember doing it. Brooke scoffed. He figured it had been before he and Shauna had gotten to the chapel. He really didn't know. Brooke told Ridge to stop. Ridge wished he could stop, but it was real. He said Carter wouldn't have done it without Ridge requesting it. Ridge believed that it was official. His divorce was final, and he was married to Shauna. I did this. I screwed this up. I ended our marriage and started another one, he stated. Brooke asked if he'd wanted Shauna as his wife all along. No, I want to be with you. This is just paperwork. I want to spend my life with you. Ridge responded. Brooke told him that it wasn't just paperwork. He'd betrayed them and what they meant to each other by marrying someone else. Sobbing, Brooke repeated that she'd warned him about that woman trying to get between them from the moment Shauna had seen him. Brooke didn't want to hear that Ridge had been drunk and didn't remember. She didn't care. He'd done it, and he needed to leave. Ridge didn't move, and Brooke ordered him to go. Before leaving, he told her that he'd always love her. Thanks for watching. Please like, comment, share and subscribe.